So I've done something a little bit nutty, but I want to talk about it, so let's just get right into it. A couple of months ago, I was watching a video put out by Quynn here, who goes by Lucid Moons, and they were featuring a couple of decks, and they made a comment about how well the backs go together, even though that's not something they had planned. It just happened to work out that way. And I ended up commenting on their video saying, you know, that's kind of a cool thing. I never really thought about it. So this idea has been in my head, roaming around for months, and I thought it was time to finally go ahead and do it. So we're going to be pairing decks solely by their backs, and we're going to see how well the fronts of them end up matching after we discuss a little bit of why I decided to pair them. But what makes this a little nutty is I have gotten every single deck from my collection out, and I have put them on my bed. I've organized them into rows. I'll try to insert some pictures here so you can see, but every single deck I own is out on my bed behind me, and we're going to go ahead and have some fun and do some deck pairings based solely at first by their backs. We'll flip them over and see how well the fronts work or not. But I just thought this would be a fun video to do. I'm going to do it in parts and series because I have a total of 51 decks in my collection, and it's maxing out the shelf space that I have right now. I couldn't get another deck and have a place for it, so I am maxed out on my space. It might not seem like a lot of decks to some. It feels like a lot to me. It literally takes up half of a person's space on a queen size bed, as you'll see in the pictures, but I have a lot of decks to get through, so we're gonna do maybe 3 or 4 parts in this little series here. But let's just get started with the first pairing. First we have the Napo Tarot and the Greer. And I think this is a very obvious pairing. I think the reason, I guess, is obvious. And I chose these two because they feature stars on the back. Both of them have blue on the back. They aren't the same hue of blue, but I thought they both have stars. There's some blue in there. So let's see how well the fronts kind of pair with one another. Page of Swords, 6 of Coins. I mean, I feel like this page is this man here, just a lot younger. So they have hats on. I don't know. Could you see that? Am I just thinking that they do match because of that? Yeah, I don't know. This is a grown-up Page of Swords. The art styles are definitely different, but I don't always pair my decks based on the art. There's also like that unspoken energy and vibe that kind of goes along with how well decks work together. I mean, this is pretty cohesive here. We have 2 figures, they're facing each other. This one's holding the world out on his hand. This one has a cup being offered to him, so it's kind of synonymous, or synchronous, I guess is more the appropriate word. The Hermit, trying to put out all the choices out of his mind right now and go within, really focus on that inner message, spending time with himself so maybe he can get a clearer choice at the end of his time. Queen of Cups and the Tower. Maybe her dress has overflowed here. I don't know, it kind of looks like it could be like a continuation, causing a wave, causing a storm. If you're not good at handling emotions, or it can feel much like a storm. And Tower moments, you know, emotions are they come and go, and especially when we focus on them and acknowledge them, they can become something like the Tower for sure. Ooh, okay. Persevere and 2 of Cups, 7 of Swords here. I don't know, you guys. I think this is kind of working for me. Ooh, Strife with the Chariot. Okay, I can get with that. King of Cups and Justice. I don't know. I think these are kind of working for me. The colors are kind of in a similar, I don't know what you call it, opacity. That's not the right term. I'll probably think of it after the fact and it won't matter at that point, but this one is a little bit softer, like the transparency or the boldness is a little on the softer side, whereas this is a little bit more full-bodied color, but I think it plays well with one another. I think it makes it more dynamic. I'm bouncing between, visually, my eye is going between both cards equally, but there's yellow in this one, there's yellow, they're different shades of yellow, I guess that's more the correct term. They're different shades and strengths of the color, but I think they kind of commingle and balance quite beautifully. Where this one lacks softness, this one picks it up. Ooh, the Star and Temperance. Look at that beautiful comparison here. And it's interesting, I never thought of these 2 cards together, but they do kind of mirror each other, don't they? I think one is more grounded Like, I feel like the star is more indicative of me having just gone through something tough, whereas this one is like a warning about, hey, if you don't straighten out that balance, you're going to go through a tower moment. It's kind of more like the warning, and then you kind of learn exactly what Temperance was trying to say when you go through that tower moment and after the fact, and you're in the star and you're reflecting, right? You kind of like, oh yeah, that's what Temperance was trying to tell me, so let me actually do that now. Very cool. All right, let's hop into another pairing. And I guess I forgot to preface or mention that much of these pairings could be tarot and tarot, oracle and oracle, or a mix. I think that's kind of what makes it fun. I do happen to use all three of those scenarios in my own practice, so I think it makes sense. But our next pairing, we have here the Dramatis Personae, or Personae Dramatis, which is a tarot deck. And to pair with it, I have the Majestic Earth Tarot. And again, visually, I think you can understand what drew me to this pairing. They both have this floral and flourishes going on. Even the pattern, so there's like a swirl pattern that is replicated here as well. And I think they, by the backs, they pair together so beautifully. I mean, what a gentle looking pair so far from the backs, but let's turn them over and see if there's any magic to be had. The Majestic Earth is artwork, chosen artwork that already exists by different artists, more in a historical context, and they're all featuring mostly landscapes. They do have people here and there, like there is a person here on the cross, which is pretty powerful statement. And then this deck over here is collage, but it features historical photographs of people in theater, collaged with different backgrounds. So I think this will definitely be interesting. Off the jump, I don't think that the fronts really are going together visually, obviously, but like I said, for me, it's also about the vibe you're getting. The Tower with Strength. I think the message here is really powerful. King of Swords and Four of Trees. It's almost like this person is in the mix down here somewhere, and we're getting like a zoom of him. Obviously, he's in a different landscape here than in this, but it could be like focused in on one of the figures here, so I think that's really interesting. Two of Swords and the Rider of Water, King of Cups, and the Two of Water, or the Two of Cups. I think maybe, as you can tell, I'm not as chatty in this pairing, but I mean, I think this goes together really nice. So maybe where these cards feature a plainer background, I think it leaves more space and room to kind of put these two visually together. Like I could see her standing up on this cliff or mountainside here and reaching up and loving being around her element, which is the earth, and kind of what that means for her. Nine of Cups and the High Priestess. I think if I only owned these two decks, I would definitely make the pairing work. And outside of their backs, I don't think I would necessarily put them together. But I just wanted this to work so badly because the backs go together like perfectly. It was like they were made for one another. Three of Pentacles with Six of Pentacles. I mean, there's something going on here. There's something going on. Maybe they just need more time to get to know one another. Eight of Pentacles and Hierophant. But it's so interesting because look at how much work went into creating the Hierophant's domain, right? This structure in this temple of sorts, and the Eight of Pentacles and how studious he's being. I don't know, there's a message here for sure. I think the farther I get in flipping through these, the more they're kind of meshing together message wise for me. So I guess this wouldn't be a pairing I would be opposed to exploring further. Like I said, I think they just need to kind of get to know each other a little bit more. Next, I have the Medieval Oracle of the Beasts and the Burning Tiger Tarot. I really liked how each of these backs featured a floral component and a red component. There's lots of reds and pinks over here and a very ferocious tiger on the front, which I think red is really indicative of like that fire, that passion. But if you look more closely, this features, it's not exactly like a tiger, but it's like a spotted, I mean, it could be more like, I don't know, a weasel, could be a cat figure, but I just thought that was kind of cool to feature. So let's see how these two pair well together. My first Oracle and Tarot pair here. Ooh, okay. I'm liking the vibe right away. It's something about the depth that's in here with the, I mean, I think these cards plainly are illustrating exactly what the card is. So I think that balance there is really nice. I think the colors, there's a color story here, like the red of the shirt, the deepness of the lighting on this figure, I think pairs well with the hues going in here. Two of Cups and the Woodpecker. Persistence, determination for sure. Fighting for your love, whether that be in another person or fighting for connection with someone. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could even be yourself. Okay. Did I? Yes. Okay. Oh, and I left, yes, I left all the extras in this deck. So again, another Two of Cups, but again, I mean, look at how synchronous the color story is here. The purples and the reds. And even this has blue, and this has a hint of blue and green. How wonderful. Freedom, justice, and truth. Again, with the Two of Cups. I think that's another way you could look at the Two of Cups for sure. I promise this is shuffled, but Three of Cups with the Lion. Courage, leadership, and power. I mean, that could represent each person in this scenario over here. One could be more courageous, one could be more the leader, and one could have that inner power, that emotional power, that feeling. Ooh, Seven of Swords, the spider. What a tangled web we weave. Oh gosh, I love this. I love this pair. I think if I were looking at them on the shelves in their box, I wouldn't put them together. So I'm really glad that I've taken all my decks out of their boxes, and I don't think I would have put these two together naturally. Like, I don't think I would have. So that's a bright side about doing this activity, is I think that it takes away some of the knowledge that you have about the face of the cards, and you're just kind of picking and choosing and not really taking into consideration this part of the card first. You're considering the backs. The House of God, which is the Tower, and the Whale. Ancestral wisdom and peace. Ooh, okay. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there in that one. Queen of Swords, our beautiful queen here. With the Panther, protection, self-reliance, for sure. Yeah, these are getting on really well. I mean, come on, look at this. The Sun with the Cow, which is abundance and prosperity. Do I need to convince you guys more that this is a great pairing? I don't think so. Ooh, King of Swords and the Porcupine. Safety through trust. Yes. Ah, I want to keep going. I want to keep going. Ooh, Judgment. Yes, danger and destruction. With the Cockatrice? Yeah. Sometimes when we put that burden on our shoulders, because judgment can be, it can turn, and it can definitely be a hurtful thing. So just a warning about how dangerous and destructive that can be, to put all of that burden on our shoulders and not release ourselves from our own judgments, or from the judgments that people put on us that we then kind of end up shouldering and carrying with us, right? Okay, I'm going to put these down. I could keep going. I think these have been really beautiful. So let's try another pairing. Next we have Tarocchi by Mr. Friborg and Santa Muerte. Both of these feature skulls on the back, so I thought that would be a cool lens to take a look at. Again, the use of blues. Yes, they are different hues of blues, but I thought that kind of went well. I mean, the deepness of the background here of the blue kind of goes well there. I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to explore. Five of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords. Ooh, okay. I like how that they're mirroring their positions, the way they're facing. They could literally be a mirror of one another. Nine of Swords and the Ten of Cups. Very interesting. Don't let yourself get in the way of your happiness that you're seeking. The Fool. This is a cool pairing with the Two of Wands. Yeah, I think the Two of Wands kind of is a little bit more structured and, you know, in its adventure that it wants to go on. But that's kind of what the Fool is all about. He's just taking that step. He's not really planning. He's just going for it. We have Three of Cups, Seven of Wands. Ooh, Three of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. I like that. I think there's something here. I think there's a relationship here to explore. Queen of Wands, or Swords, excuse me, and the Ace of Wands. King of Swords and the Ace of Swords. Very cool to see. The Empress and the Four of Pentacles. I even like how she's kind of in a more guarded stance than we see the Empress in. The Empress can tend to be very open and kind of not like flaunting in like a sexual way or like a perverse way per se, but like very outward with her body a lot. We can always tell when she's depicted being pregnant. You can tell for sure. But this one's a little bit more demure, if I'm allowed to say. And I think that could tie in really well with the Four of Pentacles. Hermit. Eight of Pentacles. Devil and the Queen of Cups. She's kind of offering the devil, in a way, her heart. And wrong person to offer your heart to, right? Okay, we'll look at one more. The World and the King of Pentacles. Very nice. All right, let's check out one more pairing for this video. Okay, next I have the Death Doula Oracle and the Fountain Tarot. So I think it'd be hard to say that the Death Doula doesn't kind of pair with everything just based on its backs. But I really liked that both of these feature a white border around them. There's also a singular dot here in the middle, but there's a circular pattern here going on, focusing in the middle of the Fountain Tarot. So yeah, that's kind of what drew me to pair these off the bat. I have a feeling that they will kind of go together pretty well here. I have not paired these together in my practice, so it'll be interesting to see. I think both of them have a very strong story, especially like with texture and color. Both are on the softer, like more muted, I think, side, with the Death Doula kind of featuring maybe a little bit more stronger colors here and there than maybe the Fountain Tarot, but I'll probably be proven wrong. Empress and Conjure. Conjuring, it's almost like, yeah, what can you conjure from the earth? Five of Wands and sexuality. Wands is all about that passion, that fire, and it all coming to like a little bit of a conflict here. I think the oranges play nicely, and this pink even. And it has some like leopard print something in here. This is a photo collage using like exposure technique, exposing the film. The Fountain, which never pops up for me in a reading, and New Narratives. There's definitely some cohesion with the color story here, and even the shapes. Like there's a very faint like square shape here. There's a square there. There's this line. There's a couple of lines. Like even I don't know if it's the light that's causing this line, light and shadow, but there's like a little line kind of forming here visually. I think that's very nice pairing here. Ooh, Four of Coins with Surrender. Wow, yeah. How beautiful is that message? Wonderful. Ten of Cups and Thrombosis. I mean, look at the color story here. Very cohesive. I don't know the meanings of these off the top of my head, but I think sometimes that's okay. I don't need to know, I just know visually. I don't know, the feeling is cohesive too. Ace of Coins with Remothering. Ooh, very interesting. Coins, you know, is the earth element and Mother Earth, so there's that tie there. Ooh, the Lovers with Formlessness. Wow, okay. That's a really good one. Don't lose yourself for another person. That's kind of like what's sticking out in my mind. Don't become formless just because you're a pair. You're still an individual. You still have your own purpose. The Hierophant and Serenity. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is sometimes can set you free. I know that there's that saying like ignorance is bliss, but not always. No, not always. I think when you are studying something or you learned something, you then have a choice. And it's a more educated choice than if you didn't know anything at all. And that can give you peace of mind. Seven of Wands with Wayfinding. I think that's a great matchup. There's obviously like a structural component here with the stairs, but if you really focus in on the background of this collage here, you can see like there's windows, there's some sort of building figure like in the background. So speaking on like structure, I like that tie there. Four of Swords and Connect with the Dead. The Hermit and Sensuality. I think that's beautiful pairing. There's a lot of sensuality with knowing yourself, and don't just think of it in an explicit like nature. I think it's very beautiful to take time to know yourself, your body, your physical body, your mind, your spirit, your soul. That's a very attractive feature, but it goes deeper than that. And I think the Hermit kind of pulls that out of what could seemingly be like a very surface level meaning here with this card. But as we all know, in the Death Doula, in the guidebook, the overall theme and purpose of it, it's definitely, there's nothing surface level about it. So we have Ace of Wands and Dishonesty, which is really neat to see. We have a wand like striking out in the middle here, and there's some sort of staff or tree branch or something here creating that as well. So that's really interesting. And I think we all think about the aces in a very, at least for me, I can't speak for everyone, but it's hard not to think of the aces in a positive light, right? Because they are the overall representation of the energy of their suit. It's about striking out and starting, putting some, like igniting something or coming up with that idea or taking that emotional like journey or that financial decision. So it's hard to, at least for me, remember that each card, with like specifically the aces, they do have a reversed meaning to it. So maybe there's some exploration to be done here. All right. Grove and Nine of Coins. Okay. Beautiful way to kind of conclude this pairing. I think they really go well together. Burning Tiger Tarot with the Medieval Beasts, Fountain Tarot, and the Death Doula, I think were my top favorite pairing of this grouping. Although I think I really enjoyed the first one. I think image-wise they didn't completely mesh together, but that's the part of exploring this. And even though they didn't, the messaging that I got from that was really beautiful. And really they seem to jive together really well, so I could see using them together in a spread or a reading. But thank you so much for joining me. Be on the lookout for parts 2, 3, 4 maybe, I'm not sure. I think I could pair these all day long, but I don't want these videos to get too long. I hope you enjoyed your time here today, and until next time, see you around.